think that a part of us learning about the trans experience is also me just getting more comfortable with you and talking to you about things. Because, I mean, Chicago, African-American man. We talk about a lot of stuff. not to stereotype, but not often do you have a full-blown conversation with a Black man. So it's hard. And there's a bit of like almost like a cultural barrier sometimes to talk to Black people about that kind of stuff, especially queer stuff. Man, they would not be liking us. But no, I think it was hard to break through like my stereotype of you even. I think people think it's like you trying to understand what being trans is like, but it was like me trying to understand what you were like, because I have this image of mainly just men in general, but especially a Black man is like, stuck in their ways, like rigid in those things that they don't want to like move past. And so I think I had to understand that that's just not true and let you in to understand me. And so when you talk about conversations, like it reminds me like, our road trips, like when we just go on like little drives like around town and end up, just talking about super like deep stuff. It's like those moments for me are the best ways that I think I can communicate myself.
When it's someone who you don't know or you don't love or you don't care to get to know, you just don't. But when it's someone you love and someone,
Look, what is going on with his nails, bro? What is going on with Dwayne Wade's nails, yo?
You want to be in their lives. You're going to sit down and you're going to find out, like, you're going to actually sit down and find out these things that you don't know. If you don't care about them, you're going to move on.
Right.
But this is my child. This is, I'm in love with my kids. And so, my job is to sit down, like me and Zaya have always, like, I go and sit across Zaya's bed, and we have a 2 to 4 hour conversation. And that's a lot of times where, we get to talk and it's a safe space. Right. We say whatever, I ask whatever, and Zaya laughs because I'm the one who I will ask a question I will ask that question that you would think that you shouldn't have said that. But I don't know. And so I ask whatever, and Zaya has expressed whatever. And so we built that communication, that safe environment amongst each other that I feel that allowed me to get comfortable with what I did not know.
I think that a part of us.
Shut up, bitch!
Yo, I'm gonna be 1,000% honest, yo. I'm gonna be 1,000%. I do not know. I do not know what happened to D Wade. I don't know. Where is the guy who is arguably top 10, top 15 greatest shooting guards of all time? The guy that went to Miami and carved his name out in the annals of time and basketball legend. Where is that guy who was a menace on the court, who was so very demeaning to the opponent that you hated to see this guy coming because his speed, his quickness, his skill, his agility was just top tier. And you just saw the fire in his eyes and in his game, just of manhood. What the fuck happened to that dude? The Dwayne Wade that you all are seeing today, I've never seen before. I don't know. I genuinely don't know who the hell this dude is, y'all. I promise you, I've never seen this dude before. This is odd. This is weird. That D Wade, if you would have told me back then when D Wade won a championship in the NBA with Shaq and was considered one of the greatest shooting guards of all time at that moment, if you would have told me that if we fast forwarded a decade, that he would be sitting down doing interviews talking about his purse that he carries around with him.
You famously have a Merce.
Yeah, I've been carrying a Merce for a very long time.
Look at this.
Well, where y'all find these photos? That's when I was wearing it across my body. There we go. Look at
Wait,
that.
are y'all in Paris?
Yeah, you know,
That's
Fashion
like,
Week, Fashion Week.
That's like schoolgirl chic or something right there.
Yeah, listen, I don't understand. Like, men, we normally have to put our wallets and our phones and our money and everything in our pockets. Listen, I pay a lot for these clothes. I am not trying to walk out like that.
Yeah.
So now I get to put stuff in the bag.
Here's your purse.
See, this is my travel bag right now. This is my travel purse right here.
By the way, your travel purse is nice.
I got a lot of things in there. One of the most important things in here is I got my Jen and Friends
friendship bracelet.
But I need to make sure that my lips stay,
Yes.
you know, they ain't dry.
You are organized, by the way.
I got my eye drops in here.
Yeah.
This is important, everybody. I'm sorry. Like,
I was like, what is
when
that?
I go eat, when I go out to restaurants,
You have
know,
your
I
nice
don't want to be sticking my hand in my mouth, so I got my nice little floss sticks right here.
Yes.
And
a
I
nice
got a lot of things in there.
Ziploc bag.
And wearing painted nails of all different types of feminine colors, and sitting there across from his son that he has promoted, that he has endorsed to walk around, his son that was born with a penis, that he is allowed to walk around dressed up in full on girl makeup, girl attire, girl emotions, all of this feminine shit. If you would have told me back then that this would be the Dwayne Wade that we have to deal with now, I would have told you to go to hell. I would have told you that there's no way. All the people in the comments talking about, oh, look at Dwayne, look at D Wade. God bless him for being there for his daughter. First of all, that's his son. Nigga, shut up. That's his son. All y'all can shut the fuck up. That's a boy. That's a whole boy sitting there acting like a girl. And the craziest thing about it is that women will come out and support this type of bullshit and then turn right around and ask, where are all the men at? Where are all the men at? Men ain't men no more. Huh? Y'all supported this. You wanted this. This is what you all endorsed. This is what you advocated for. But y'all asking where the men at? Huh? The men are right here being turned into little girls. The men are right here being allowed to sit up here and wear dresses with full drag makeup on, with their father sitting across from them acting like he's none the wiser. The men are all being told that it's okay to be a motherfucking woman. That's where the men are. And y'all the same ones that be complaining that ain't no more men in the world. Well, guess the fuck what? They all Zaya Wades now. They all getting turned into Zaya Wades. And y'all, I'll never forgive y'all for advocating for this bullshit. Y'all wanted this shit in schools. Something is wrong with y'all. Something is wrong with y'all. Something is wrong with you if you support a child running around talking about, I don't feel like a boy. I feel like a girl. And then you let them do it. Not only do you let them do it, but you advocate for them and you help them do it. Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade are two of the most, I think that they're one of the worst couples to ever be put in the public eye, public media eye. My thoughts about Gabrielle Union and where I used to put her as far as greatness, black greatness and excellence, and same with Dwayne Wade, is greatly diminished. These two, unfortunately, Zaya Wade sitting here talking about her relationship with her dad and how he has allowed him, this boy, to transform into a full-on girl and walk around in dresses and shit. Unfortunately, this is the way of the future. And unfortunately, this will just be exponentially worse 10 years from now. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, I believe that we will have full-on little bitty boys that are aged 5, 6, and 7 years old, running around with dresses on, talking about, I'm a girl. And I believe that at some point, some party is going to come through and make it legal to start changing up their DNA and their genetics by giving them hormone blockers. I believe that in a little bit of time, maybe not in mine, maybe in mine, that will be the norm of our society. Watch us descend into this hellhole, into this abomination. And then these people have the audacity to bring up God. You can't make this shit up. Drop a comment down below. I'll holler at y'all later.